My stance on AI is that it's here. Okay, I mean it's unavoidable. It's technology that it's only going to get better as time
Mm.
goes on.
It's such an amazing world to live in. Like, I mean, as much as I say, oh, we should know about the past, but I mean, I'm kind of like in the sense like you should know what's come before, so you appreciate what's happening now more. I mean, you look at technology, like something like Clip Studio Paint, it's called now. You know, stuff like that. When in the old days, you're just pen and paper, or photocopy and stuff, and now you can just do it all there. Like I use that for lettering and design work, and I'm going, when I didn't have it, right? 2007, it was just me and my mouse. That's how I was drawing, and now I can just design all the logos and all the bubbles on the
Sure,
screen. Uh,
absolutely. I mean the technology is there, but it still
yeah,
takes a human mind to come up with the idea, and that is where that's the most important thing is the idea.
yeah,
Because you can use all the technology in the world you want, but if your idea, it has to come from an idea, and if it doesn't come from there, then it's all just a bunch of, you know, tools.
mm. Which kind of leads me to the next question. I think it's talking about ideas and stuff. What do you think about, or have you heard someone approach you with AI art and saying, "I want to do a comic using AI art"? And what is your, have you had to make a decision on that, or what are your stance on that?
My stance on AI is that it's here. Okay, I mean it's unavoidable. It's technology that it's only going to get better as time
Mm,
goes on. There are ethical issues of it. You steal, quote unquote, stealing from other artists, and
mm,
that is something that probably will have to be addressed. Either through legislation or through
yeah,
some other thing that will take that into account. But sooner or later, it's going to get to the point where the AI will be able to just create something from whole cloth.
yeah,
The thing about it is that you can teach an AI to do the thing
mm,
specifically for you. Like if you're an artist and you want to teach an AI to draw like you,
yeah,
okay, any different than
yeah,
coloring on computer, or
mm,
lettering on computer. I mean, I am of the mindset that
mm,
it's here and it's unavoidable. You can either adapt, or you can ignore it. You have
mm,
that choice. You have that right to ignore it. But
mm.
as it becomes easier to use and the output becomes better and better, uh, there's no way you're going to be able to not interact with it. It's just going to be part of life. And then you have to make a decision whether you accept it or you don't.
I was like, when you were just saying that, teaching an AI to do it like you do it, like I thought, you know, a little while back, I mean, a couple of decades back, you could like speak and the keyboard would type it, right? Type out what you're speaking. And now it's like, when you take that in board, it's like, I could put on all my tens of thousands of pages of work over the last 30 years into this AI and say, I want you to take this new story that I want to write in my style, using the way I speak, using the way I would tell a story, and produce these, make this into this, and then I'll go and edit. I hadn't even thought about that idea of AI being that sort of tool. Whereas, like when you're using AI, you're just using it to take from everybody else's and make a story. Because I actually put one of my own stories that I'm never going to use, but I feel sad that I actually did this to it. Is that I put my my plot, my whole characters and everything into this short story I had into the AI, and then took everything and made it into 3-4 versions of it, and I kept correcting it. But the idea that you can now say like, hey, do it my way using my own work, I find that much more interesting and much more pleasant.
Sure, it's going to get to that point. I mean, it's the thing is, it starts with you. You have to come up with
Yeah,
the idea. You have to be the one to enter all the prompts. You have to enter the characters, all that stuff. you know, and all the AI is doing is just like, you know, putting it together in a format that you is acceptable to you, you know.
Yeah,
And if you're the one doing all the input, I mean, how is that any, you know, it's all that's really doing is making you more efficient and, you know, making it faster. You know, I
right.
mean, if they're gonna be writers who just won't accept it. That's fine. You have
Yeah,
that right to do that, you know. But there's going to be writers who won't, who will
mm,
adapt to it, and they're the ones who're going to be producing, you know, huge amounts of material, you
yeah,
know. And how good that material is, I don't know. You know, it
yeah,
that has to be for the market to decide. You know, if the
yeah,
market, if you produce something with AI and people love it, then, you know, how do you argue with that? You can't argue with that kind of. It's hard
mm,
to argue with success. You know, that's the thing.
right. Like I was just thinking, like with that in mind, like how the people accept it, like because I'm a heavy metal fan, so with the heavy metal music, you know, you've got people who have produced really good heavy metal music because, you know, digital music, of course, and they've done really well with it. But like you've had people who've done like AI art, which, you know, is taken from other people's art, which have, like, you know, made people who actually do decent work themselves using, you know, the tools themselves, not using AI. You know, like it's confusing the art world because of that. Like if you hear like somebody who's amazing like Sakiri, right, and coming up with somebody who's just taken, you
Well, I
know,
mean, here
AI to do it.
I'll be honest with you. I think that 99% of the human population, you know, most normal people, they don't give a crap about AI. Okay, doesn't affect them. They don't care.
Mm,
Okay, it doesn't bother them one iota.
mm,
Okay, the only people who are hot and bothered by it is the creator community, and of course they can be. They're bothered by it because it's a threat to
yeah,
their life. Their life. I mean, it's no different than, you know, somebody who was a manufacturer worker being replaced by a robot. It's a
yeah,
threat, you know, and this is why I think most people are, you know, most people are against it because it threatens their livelihood. And anytime something threatens your livelihood, you're gonna oppose it. You know, that's
yeah,
just a natural order of things. But, you know, what are you going to do to fight it? Okay,
mm,
the thing is, the technology is here. The only thing
yeah,
you can do is say, you know, boycott it, don't use it. You know, it says, good luck with that.
mm,
Okay, you know, it's here. It can be used. People use it all the time now. You
yeah,
know, it's being done it's being done on a regular basis. Once it's accepted
yeah.
by 99% of the human population, where does that leave you? You know,
Well, even 51%, right? Even 51%.
yeah,
You don't
even
have to be 99.
51%.
Yeah,
You know, even
yeah,
51% of the population accepts it. Where does that leave you? You know,
mm,
and you have the choice. You can choose not to use it. If you can
yeah,
show that you're better at it than any AI, then prove it. You know,
right.
go out there and show people, hey, I, you know, it's like, you know, getting a mass produced car, you know, as opposed to a handcrafted Lamborghini, you know, where everything
Yeah,
is meticulously handmade, you know. But, you know, I'll be happy with a Ford, you know.
right.
Yeah.
You know, if it works, right? All you wanted to do is if it works and
Yeah.
if
I mean,
it's safe.
I will almost guarantee most people cannot tell the difference between art made by a human and art made by AI. You know,
Yeah.
you know, if you just show any schlub off the street, you
Mm,
know, I show them two pictures. One was done by AI, one was done by a human. I almost
yeah.
guarantee 50% of the time, most people will pick wrong.
Yeah. It's too good, you know, either way, depending on the talent. But I do like the idea of like using your own skills and,
Sure,
you know,
that's
for
going to
AI
happen.
to teach off you things.
Going to happen,
And
and
I,
sooner or later,
yeah,
somebody's going to come up with a app or a program that says, "Hey, enter your own, you know, art into
yeah,
this thing, and it'll spew out art just like
mm,
yours."
yeah. I think for me as a writer, I'll be like, okay, I don't feel like writing today, but I need to get written things done because it's. I mean, I'm you know, I'm more of an emotion. You know, I've got to be in a right space to start writing pages and pages of work. And if I'm not, And then if I have days and days of where I'm not, I would be happy to go, hey, dear AI, here's all my work, right? Take my thousands of pages of work and shove it into there and help me along. And then when I come back, when I feel like I'm at a good stage to write
I
again,
mean,
go in. Yeah,
I always believe that in the future, it'll be an AI editor. You can pump them your stuff,
yeah,
and it'll edit it for you. It says, oh yeah, this line needs to be dropped. This change. You found some typos. It'll automatically correct all that stuff for you.
yeah,
And then the same with art. If let's say, there, I decided, what, I don't want to draw a full page. I'll do layouts. I'll do really rough pencils, and then I'll pump it through the AI and it'll complete the art for me.
yeah,
It'll take my style and it'll draw the comic for me. Even, but I still had
yeah,
to go out. I still had to do it. I still had to lay it out and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But all the AI would do is just finish it for me, basically.
yeah. Or even like get it to like 98% or 90% of finishing, and then you can just go and wipe it,
Oh yeah, hell,
touch it
I'd
up.
be happy with 75%. It's
Yeah,
just that still saves you a vast amount of time, and work.
yeah. Because I mean, a lot of us, don't have that much time. I mean, like especially if you're working full time, right? And you got a couple hours a night before you go to bed to do some artwork or do some writing, and then next thing you got to do this over and over again. And if you can have that extra, while you're awake, right, uh, at work, you've got the AI running its thing, and then you come home. Oh, cool! Now it's shut. Now it's cleaned away a couple hours of your, time to edit. It's already edited for you. It sounds really
It's
good.
going
I
to
mean,
evolve. The thing is, the technology is going to evolve. It's going to get better. I mean, a good example of that is like, when movies first came out. When the motion pictures first came, they were crude. They were very. They weren't very. I mean, back then it was a wonder. People would say, "Oh,
yeah,
movie pictures, wow, fantastic." But if you look at it in the past, it's like, "Wow, these are pretty crude," and things like. Right now, AI is in its infancy. Okay, it's in
yeah,
its it'll only grow bigger and stronger from there.
yeah,
And as more and more as technology and memory capacity gets better, and people understand the language of AI, then it's you'll be able to create your own AI. I foresee a day where everybody's gonna have his own personal AI.
yeah,
Someone will just be there just for
yeah,
you. You're the one. Just like robots. I sooner or later we're
yeah,
gonna have robots. It's just gonna
yeah,
happen. And we'll see what technology. We'll see what humanity will be then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember, like when you just mentioned, I remember writing a story, where the AI is actually part of your iris, right? You just put it into your eyeball, and it just sits there, and so everything's here in front of you. But I mean, other people have written that already. But I just thought that the fact that that is there, and you could communicate, and your maps wherever you need to go, it's all part of you. And I'm sure eventually we'll get there. Not too long in the future.